Naoya Inoue has built a reputation as one of the most ruthless destroyers in boxing history. His knockout power, surgical precision, and unshakable willpower have made him nearly untouchable. But beneath that polished record lies a saga of moments when his back was against the wall, when everything could have slipped away in a blink. These moments weren't just fights. They were survival, vengeance, and legacy-defining wars that turned the monster into a living legend. In May 2024, Inoue faced perhaps his most dangerous opponent yet, Luis Neri. It was his first title defense as the undisputed bantamweight champion, and it came with a massive weight of expectation. Not only was Inoue fighting to keep his belts, but he was also defending the pride of an entire nation. Neri, the cocky Mexican southpaw, had become a despised figure in Japan. He had tested positive for a banned substance and missed weight in both of his fights against the legendary Japanese champion Shinsuke Yamanaka, beating him twice in brutal fashion. Those fights had been watched by over 7 million Japanese fans, and many saw Neri's actions as nothing short of disgraceful. To them, Inoue wasn't just a champion, he was an avenger. Luis Neri wasn't just a villain, though. He was a dangerous man with a professional record of 35 wins and only 1 loss, with a devastating knockout ratio of 78%. His left hand, known as Pantera, was infamous for erasing opponents in seconds. The energy in the Tokyo Dome arena was electric. The final face-off between the two was filled with cold fury. As Neri was introduced in front of a packed house, Japanese fans flipped him off with middle fingers, clear, unfiltered hatred. The crowd wanted blood, and Inoue was expected to give it to them. But from the opening bell, things didn't go according to plan. Inoue opened up aggressively, throwing thunderous rights and trying to decapitate the Mexican challenger. But Neri didn't come to lie down. In a stunning turn of events while trading in the pocket, Neri threw a looping left that landed flush and sent Inoue crashing to the canvas. For the first time in his career, the monster tasted the floor. The crowd gasped, silence and shock swept through the arena like a ghost. Neri had done what no man had ever done before. For a moment, it felt like the impossible was happening. But that knockdown didn't break Inoue. It woke him up. He rose from the canvas like a man reborn, still groggy, still shaken, but very much in the fight. Neri came charging in to finish the job, sensing the upset. But Inoue, in classic fashion, began to play possum, dodging, weaving, and slipping punches against the ropes like he had downloaded every move from the Matrix. Inoue's ring IQ was on full display. The champion made it out of the round, and from that moment forward it was a different fight entirely. In round 2, the momentum began to shift. Inoue went to his corner, received sharp instructions, and returned with a plan. Destroy Neri's rhythm. The Japanese star flipped the switch. He pressed forward, firing sharp counters and finding the timing on Neri's dangerous left hand. Then the payback came. With perfect timing, Inoue fired a crisp left hook that dropped Neri hard. The Japanese crowd roared as their hero returned the favor. The bell saved Neri, but it was clear. The monster was fully activated. Round 3 was a massacre. Inoue came out like Neri had stolen something. Relentless pressure, heavy combinations, and surgical placement rained down on the Mexican. In one controversial moment, Neri even tried to fake a foul, claiming he had been hit in the back of the head. But the referee wasn't buying it. Desperation was setting in. Inoue mocked his rival, joking mid-fight while landing crushing shots. Every punch echoed in the arena as the crowd cheered louder and louder. The Japanese fans, once stunned into silence, were now electric with joy. They were witnessing a beatdown for the ages. In round 5, Inoue cornered Neri and dropped him, again with another compact left. It was surgical brutality. Neri, clearly out of gas and will, survived only because the bell saved him again. But the end was near. The 6th round began, and Inoue came out hunting. Like a predator smelling blood, he unleashed a barrage of pinpoint punches that turned Neri into a punching bag. Then, with a beautiful right hand, Inoue folded Neri against the ropes like a chair. The referee waved it off. The arena exploded. No mas echoed through the air as the Mexican's will to fight evaporated under the weight of Inoue's fury. The victory was monumental. Neri had been dropped 3 times, battered over 6 rounds, and completely humiliated. It was a satisfying exorcism for Japanese boxing fans and a reaffirmation of Inoue's greatness. That fight broke Amazon Prime's peak viewership record in Japan. Inoue was later awarded the honorary WBC Diamond Belt, and for the second time in his career recognized as the #1 pound-for-pound boxer in the world. It was vengeance delivered with clinical precision. On that same card, Naoya's younger brother, Takuma Inoue, was also in action. He too faced adversity, getting knocked down in his bout. But like his older brother, he dug deep, fought back, and emerged victorious. That night in the Tokyo Dome was a family showcase of resolve, grit, and championship DNA. But the war with Neri wasn't the only time Inoue found himself in deep waters. Rewind to 2019, to one of the most brutal and legendary fights in modern boxing, Naoya Inoue versus Nonito Donaire. The final of the World Boxing Super Series bantamweight tournament was billed as a passing of the torch, but it became a war for the ages. Donaire, even at an advanced age, was still a killer. He had shattered careers with his monstrous power and walked into the ring with nothing to lose and everything to prove. From the opening rounds, it was clear this wouldn't be a walk in the park for Inoue. In round 2, Donaire landed a sharp right hand that fractured Inoue's orbital bone. Blood poured from Inoue's face, but he refused to fold. The fight became a savage test of willpower and endurance. Donaire matched Inoue shot for shot, and in round 9 he nearly landed the knockout blow, staggering the monster with an overhand counter that cracked him square on the chin. Inoue was rocked, visibly shaken, but still refused to go down. Ibai footwork, even under duress, remained immaculate. He slipped a vicious follow-up left hook and began mounting a counterattack, showing the heart of a warrior. In round 11, Inoue finally broke Donaire's resistance. He landed a brutal body shot, a left hook to the liver, that sent Donaire stumbling around the ring in agony. The veteran tried to recover, but the damage was done. It was a miracle he beat the count. He went to the hospital that night, battered and bruised, but unbowed. Inoue fought the last round with controlled aggression and secured a unanimous decision victory. He unified the WBA Super and IBF titles, proving that he could fight through severe injuries and still come out on top. Donaire became one of the few fighters to survive 12 rounds with Inoue, and one of the only ones to not be knocked down. After the fight, Inoue revealed he had suffered not only a fractured orbital, but also a broken nose. That battle was later named Ring Magazine's Fight of the Year. But long before these championship wars, Inoue had already tasted brutal battles early in his career. One such test came in just his 4th professional fight, when he faced Ryoichi Taguchi for the Japanese light flyweight title. Taguchi was a hardened veteran and one of the best in the country at the time. It was supposed to be a challenge for the young phenom, and it was. The fight started at a blistering pace. Taguchi landed more punches than any previous Inoue opponent. The young star was taking clean shots, heavy right hands, and body work that tested his conditioning, but Inoue showed maturity beyond his years. He adjusted, began mixing in brutal counters, and upped his tempo. He also fought with emotion, pushing through the pain and responding to every shot with even more venom. In his corner, his father gave crucial advice, and Naoya listened. In the later rounds, Inoue began to land heavy body shots, trying to wear down the tough champion. But Taguchi would not fall. His chin was like steel. He ate shots like a man possessed and kept pressing forward. By the final round, the two fighters had earned each other's respect. They went toe-to-toe in a final flurry, both exhausted but unwilling to surrender. The fight drew tears from Inoue's family, who watched their son endure hell to win gold. Inoue won by unanimous decision, with scores of 98-92, 98-93, and 97-94. Though he didn't score a knockdown, he proved he had the heart, skill, and resilience to go far. After that war, Inoue promised never again to take so much punishment, sharpening his defense and evolving into an even more dangerous version of himself. From the streets of Kanagawa to the pinnacle of global boxing, Naoya Inoue has carved a path of destruction. But that path has been forged through fire. He's faced adversity, been dropped, bloodied and broken, but never beaten. His rise isn't just a story of knockouts. It's a story of resolve, revenge, and glory. And as the monster continues to hunt, one thing is certain. Those who underestimate him end up on the canvas, if they're lucky. So if you're new to the legacy of Inoue, buckle in, because every time he steps into the ring, history is waiting to be written. Stay tuned and prepare for the next chapter in the reign of the monster.